Welcome everyone, and today we're here with what is totally not a Celine. In any way, don't ask questions. Anyway, with the new updates that we've got coming from BeamNG, changing up handling and all that sort of stuff, and Automation's new updates coming with the pre-alpha build being, pre-alpha in nature where things aren't really making sense to us users much at the moment, though. I mean, that's kind of our own fault. We've signed up for a pre-alpha. If I wanted stability, I would go with the normal version, but here, we've got a pre-alpha, and I wanted to do some testing because there's a lot of things that don't make sense, and today we're testing brakes. So here we've got just a standardized version. You can see the graph here. That is what the normal car has. Then moving on here, we've got 4 piston brakes, which should give us a very good braking characteristic. Then over here, we've got tuned pressure, and as you'll notice that one has a fairly decent graph. Then moving over here, we've got full pressure, just turned up full blast to see if that makes much of a difference and is accurate to what we see in the graphs. Then, the final one is brake pads. So, brake pads, just like old school, you would just put the brake pads up until you had the exact number that you wanted. Pistons would, throw things off quite a lot, but brake pads you could fine-tune. So, we've got them back in here. So the test we're doing today is we're going to take this up to 150 kilometers an hour. Then we're going to do a full hard braking system, and we shouldn't have ABS, right? I accidentally left ABS in. So yeah, we're going to remove ABS for all of these tests. All right, they're all clear. Let's go. Ooh, now, I've chosen a particularly heavy vehicle. I've made it as heavy as possible, basically. Put the engine in the back for the most tricky sort of braking characteristics. And we're just going to get this thing up to about 150 right there. And brake right on the line. And you'll notice no lockups whatsoever. The thing just comes to a slow stop. So this thing will never lock up in its standard form. I also will mention... God, I love that sound. Oh, that's so good. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do the 4 piston. And 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! So this one was tuned just to give us the right amount of brake pressure above just our traction limit. And 150 now, and lock up. And you can see there, locking up, less efficient. Now I know that on the normal graph it is considerably under our traction limit, but this is how bad lockup is. Now let's try doing it, but with trying to make sure that we're not locking up by flexing our brake pedal just a little bit better, trying to be not just ham-fisted with the brake pedal. And brake, lock up, that's fine. Lift off the brakes a little bit, and ooh, okay. Still not fantastic, but better than what we were. Let's try it with ABS. And ABS kicking in, and oh my. Would you look at that? Well, I am very much surprised. You know what? Screw it. We're going to try this one with ABS as well. See if, there's some sort of magic going on here. Because I really do need to know. 150 and brake. And ABS has made it considerably worse. Okay, well that's good to know. Let's reset it now with ABS off. Braking at our line, and yep, right about there. Now here we have tuned brake pressure. This one was tuned very similarly to the 4 piston, but by having it just go above 100% brake pressure. So let's see how that goes. And brake. And lockups. Lockups ahoy. Oh, that is quite effective. As you can see, we got lots of lockup. I wonder now, with controlling my brake pressure and brake. Well, I braked a little bit early, but that's fine. Yeah, still not great. And now with ABS, and very similar to 4 piston. I'm actually, a little surprised by that. I thought these were better. Anyway, let's just go ahead and move on to the next one, which is straight up full brake pressure. Now you'll notice here, just one thing that's kind of been glaring at me, and I've just not wanted to, point out the elephant in the room, is this font absolutely fine. Now this is the typed out font, but this font that's typed out is showing up with a black background on it. So keep that in mind with your font choices. Let's just see how much of a mess these brakes make. Honestly, I am not expecting a lot from these brakes. I get the feeling they're going to be pretty hot garbage and lock up, and there's also a massive imbalance between the front and rear compared to the traction limitations. But here we go. I misjudged my speed. Got the speed right this time, and stop. Oh, immediate lockups. But hey, that's not actually trash. It's sure, it's worse, but that did pretty well. Now, with uneven brake pressures compared to, like brake torque compared to traction limitations, it should mean that different wheels will lock up at different times, which will mean that ABS will have to kick in weirdly. But let's just try controlling it with our brake pedal itself. And we're at about 150 and brake. There we go. You know what? Much better. And it's only a little bit uneven. It looked as if the rear locked up a little bit before the front. Let's try it now with ABS. Brake and ABS is working. Okay. It seems that it doesn't matter about brake balance. Just have better brakes and it will come to a stop quicker. That is interesting. That is actually very different to what it used to be in Automation to BeamNG. Previously, you had to not only have more brake pressure, but even brake pressure. Now it seems that just whatever. Throw whatever you want at the wall, just have lots of brake pressure. Now we just got brake pads, nice, tuned, all that kind of jazz. God, this car is slow to 100. It's like an 8-second 0 to 100, like supercar, but the thing is made out of like clad iron, with an iron engine block that's like over 6 liters. It's not a great vehicle, and I just wanted a heavy vehicle for testing today. And here we go, brake! I just realized I forgot to meter my speed. 150, pretty much dead on this time, and brake. And brake pads. Hey, that's an interesting way to stop. Okay, this time we're going to try to control our braking. Now I'm using this all on a controller. This is not on a steering wheel. I know with the steering wheel you can get better control, but this is what we are using currently. And now we're going to go to 150 and we're just going to try feathering our brakes so then we don't lock up. And you're going to see here also, oh, okay, our rears are locking up a lot. As you saw there, I had to lift off quite a bit whilst the rears were locking up a lot. Now with ABS, this is a great example of unbalanced brakes and ABS. And we're going to see whether they've fixed this issue of the ABS kind of working all wheels at the same time, or if they've actually properly tuned them now. So we're going to get up to 150 and brake. And look at that! Okay, it seems no matter what, better brakes are the key. Better brakes, ABS, it doesn't matter. Just lots and lots of brake. I have a bit of a theory I want to test. Max power. Yes. So as you can tell, what I'm about to do is just what would have previously been considered stupid. Brakes, 6 pistons, make the force 100% or 150%, all the way up, all the way into race, and all the way on quality. Just look at that. So this is your traction limit, and this is how much braking force can be applied. So realistically, this should lock up at the drop of a hat. Hopefully this is really amazing, by the way. I've just done this braking 3 times now to get this vehicle back into place, and every single time, brake pads has ended up behind full pressure, or in front of, I should say, like worse than full pressure. Weird. But now for max power. And we're gonna run it first without ABS, obviously. And I'm expecting this thing to lock up, like, at a moment of a sneeze is when I'm expecting this to lock up right now. So, I'm gonna get it up to speed, and lock it up. Oh, dear God, yeah, now that locks up super quick. And it's only just behind normal. What? Let's try normal again. I feel something is wrong here. Okay, 150 and brake. Okay. So, yeah, it's about the same. It's... wow, okay. Something cray-cray is going on. Let's try activating stability control. Well, it's not actually stability control, it's just ABS. About 150 and lock her up. Oh, it's shuddering. And it didn't seem to do quite as well as the other one. So maybe tuned is good, but, you know, just more power is better. Let's run this one more time. And once again, yeah, okay. So it's about this sort of area. So what I'm getting the feeling of what is happening here is that I just realized I don't have mirrors in any of these cars. God damn it. Anyway, what I'm noticing is that with too much brake pressure, the tires do that little bit of a skipping sort of jumping sort of thing. So I think that is the limiting factor here. So if you can just tune the vehicle to be just under the skippy hoppy sort of section, then you're probably going to have the best brakes possible for your car. But as for now, let's just go take one of these cars out for a bit of a drive. And obviously by that I mean full pressure. You know what, actually I don't trust any of my results. Let's run full pressure one more time. And look it up. Yep, nope, that is pretty consistent. Yeah, full pressure is bay. Now, this is only speculation because I haven't checked it out, but I think the other advantage of full pressure as opposed to brake pistons and all that sort of stuff is probably the fact that it doesn't weigh anymore to do it. But it would be less comfortable as a road car. So let's go ahead, give this one a bit of a try around. So we're gonna come up immediately into Everson S's. We're gonna see if we got this thing to understeer at all. So I tuned this one, you know, fairly basically, so then hopefully it'll act like a normal sort of car, just mid-engine to make it a little bit trickier. This actually has no downforce whatsoever. The only thing that it's got going for it is the fact that I've got smaller front tires on it, so I'll be raking the body a little bit more. So hopefully the lift will be negated and maybe create a little bit of downforce. But you've also got to take into account that this thing weighs tons. Let's actually bring it up in the middle of the race here. 2.7 tons is how much this weighs. And I don't know if there's a difference between metric and imperial, but I'm pretty sure that's about the same. But yep, going around the Cotswolds now, and we're bringing it down the back straight towards the slingshot. Let's fast forward this. God, we're barely into the 200 kilometers an hour. Any road car could take this corner at 200 kilometers an hour if tuned right. Worrying about lift and whatnot in this car? Not really a problem. But let's start braking at about 200 meters and it brings... Oh, okay, yeah, now brakes are actually really good for such a heavy behemoth like this. My God, that's impressive. The brakes pulled us up so far. I suppose we were actually going quite slow, so maybe it's actually not that impressive. It just felt impressive, because I also know that this thing has like a 6-liter. It has about 300 horsepower, but also quite a lot of torque, so it's not a gutless engine. But we made it through the Kilrob chicane there. Going around Popsicle is doing quite well, and now Adam's Apex will pull out, catch out any sort of like overweight, understeery sort of car. And yes, we had to slow it down quite a lot. Our mid-cornering is about 65, and a normal sort of good car will be doing about 75, so we've lost 10 kilometers an hour through that corner, and a downforce car will go much faster if tuned right. And it gets really slow around Cossacks there. That was very unfortunate, but Lambs, hope. Slow down, get it turned in, a little bit of understeer here on the exit, but trying not to lift. And now let's push it all the way down. Wow, this thing is doing a 2-minute 30-ish. My God, that is slow. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this mirrorless video. Damn. But for now, I'll catch y'all next time. Goodbye. It doesn't want to do a donut. There we go. Just get it on grass. It's all good, right? It's all good, right?